the Dreammaker's compass. Are you all tucked in now? Pillow just right? Blanket cozy and warm? Good, because tonight we're going to follow a very quiet child named Elia and a compass that didn't point north. You see, Elia was not the sort of child who liked to rush. She liked quiet things, the flutter of a moth's wings in moonlight, the way tree branches danced when no one was watching, the soft hum of wind against her window when the world had gone to sleep. One rainy afternoon, while helping her grandmother clean out the attic, Elia found a curious little wooden box. It had no key, no markings, and yet it opened easily in her hands. Inside it, resting on a bed of soft blue cloth, was a compass, but not an ordinary one. This compass didn't have numbers or directions. It had only a glowing, gentle needle that spun slowly like it was thinking. Then, as Elia held it closer, the needle stopped, not pointing north, not pointing south, but somewhere else entirely. Her grandmother peeked over her shoulder and smiled a secret sort of smile. That, she whispered, once belonged to the Dreammaker. It finds broken dreams and gently helps put them back together. That night, with the rain tapping gently on the roof and the compass resting beside her pillow, Elia lay awake longer than usual. The compass glowed softly in the dark, and the needle spun in slow circles. She picked it up, watched, waited, and then, quite suddenly, it stopped again, pointing toward the window. Elia slipped from her bed, wrapped herself in her favorite blanket, and tiptoed outside. The moonlight was soft and silver, and the garden glistened with rain. The compass pulled gently like a tug on her heart, leading her through the tall grass, past the gate, and down a sleepy path that shimmered with something just a little more than real. She didn't feel scared. She felt quiet inside, like her footsteps were part of the night. The compass led her to a hill where a boy sat alone with a red kite in his lap. He didn't look up when she approached. His kite was beautiful, painted with stars and swirling winds, but it drooped in his hands like it had given up. "I can't make it fly," he said softly, eyes still on the string. "I dreamed I would fly it higher than the clouds, but every time I try, it just falls." Elia sat beside him. She looked at the kite closely and noticed the string was tangled and knotted. Carefully, slowly, she began to unwind it, smoothing the lines with her fingers. "Sometimes," she whispered, "dreams need space and patience. Even when they fall, they're just waiting for the wind again." The boy looked up. For the first time, he smiled, a little. Together, they ran with the kite, and this time, it soared. When the kite touched the sky, the compass glowed again. The needle spun once, twice, and stopped, pointing in a new direction. Elia waved goodbye, tucked the compass back into her pocket, and followed the glowing needle. It led her to a quiet meadow wrapped in fog. The air smelled like dew and morning, even though the stars were still shining above. In the middle of the mist, a girl stood holding a lantern, but there was no light inside it. "I used to paint dreams," the girl said. "Bright ones, big ones. But someone once said my pictures weren't good. And now, I can't see the dream anymore. It's like it disappeared into the fog." Elia didn't say anything right away. Instead, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a smooth stone she'd picked up near the kite hill. It was warm from her hand and shimmered faintly in the fog. She gave it to the girl. "Start with this," she whispered. "Not because it's special, but because you are. The dream's still there. It's just waiting for you to believe in it again." The girl held the stone to her heart. And then, the lantern flickered softly to life, casting a warm glow through the mist. The compass pulsed again, and its needle turned toward the forest. Through the tall trees and gentle shadows, Elia walked until she came to a clearing filled with trees covered in paper dreams. Some were folded like birds, others hung like ribbons from the branches, swaying gently in the breeze. And standing quietly beneath them all was an old man, running his fingers across the bark like it was an old friend. "I used to dream of building music boxes," he said when Elia approached. "Ones that sang the songs of the stars. But time passed, and the dream felt too far away. I stopped, and now, I just come here to remember." Elia tilted her head, listening to the rustle of the trees. She could almost hear the soft hum of something forgotten. She reached into her memory, into the quiet place inside where her grandmother's lullaby lived. She hummed, softly, gently. The trees swayed. The paper dreams began to flutter, and then, with a shimmer like starlight, a small golden music box appeared at the old man's feet. He picked it up with trembling hands, turned the little key, and listened. A star song filled the air. He closed his eyes. "Thank you," he said simply. The compass needle spun again. Next, it led her to a still pond where the surface was so smooth it looked like glass. By its edge sat a girl looking into a mirror, but the mirror showed nothing. "I wanted to be brave," she said. "I dreamed I could stand tall, speak loud, do things that mattered. But every time I tried, I felt invisible." Elia sat beside her. She looked into the mirror too and saw only sky. "Sometimes," Elia whispered, "bravery is quiet. It's doing something even when no one sees, even when your voice shakes." She gently cupped water from the pond in her hands and let it drip onto the mirror. Ripples shimmered, and slowly, an image appeared. The girl was standing between two friends, holding out her hands, calming their voices. She had been brave. She just hadn't seen it. Now in the mirror, she did. She smiled. The compass glowed warmer now, its needle turning one last time, back toward the garden, back toward Elia's home. She followed it slowly, her steps quiet, her heart full. In the soft morning light, with the sky turning pale and the stars fading, she stood once more at her gate. The compass in her hand pulsed gently, then stopped. It had brought her full circle, because now it was her turn. Elia looked up at the sky, the first light of dawn brushing the leaves with gold. "I want to help people," she whispered, "but I also want to tell stories, gentle stories like this one." The compass glowed one final time. The needle disappeared, and in its place was a feather, a small quill, light as sleep and glowing with silver stardust. She smiled, tucked the quill close, and tiptoed back inside. She climbed into bed, pulled the blanket up to her chin, and let her eyes close. Outside, the garden sighed in the wind. The rain had stopped, and dreams, all across the world, breathed a little easier, because the Dreammaker's compass was home, and Elia had found her dream too. Sleep now, little one. Let your dreams drift gently, like a kite in the sky, a lantern in the fog, a music box in moonlight, a mirror full of truth, or a story yet to be written by someone just like you. Good night.